All right, so we're going to make our first design on the embroidery machine. And I chose a tribal design because it illustrates some of the pathing that occurs in embroidery. So I got two different designs. I got this one and that one. I think I'm going to go with this one. And it has this weird X on it because I was playing. So, the thing you should aim for your first design is probably a one color. But I will also show you how to do a two color in this video just to speed things along. So first off, it needs to be saved as a JPEG. Just a JPEG. No vectors, no nothing. Plain old JPEG. You'll take note that this JPEG is rather large. So when you do search for JPEGs, I would search for high resolution JPEGs. And the reason that you can, or if the way you can tell they're high resolution, is if you zoom in, you see no stair stepping occurring on the pixels. All right, the software is located below. It looks like this little green dot. I'm just going to close out of this one and start over. So when you first start up the software, you're basically going to go open, blank design document. Since I saved that onto my desktop, I just go first to home, go to catalogs, go to media images raster images, and then down below I'm going to choose desktop, and there's my design. I click and drag it out. Okay. Always change the size to what you need first. So go to layout, and I'm going to stick to images that are under 4 inches. So let's go 4 inches in width. So I type a 4 here in this little box and then hit enter. Good. Again, that's just a good practice to start into is the smaller ones. And then as you get more savvy, you can get into bigger designs. Bigger designs are harder. Okay, so take this and we're going to convert it over to vector in the program. So if this is not highlighted, go to select objects, select it, and this pops up. I'm going to hit filter. And this gave me a light gray, a dark gray, and a black. I'm going to actually hold shift and select these three and combine them. So this color doesn't matter as long as it's one color. So in this case, I got a 2 color, white being a color also. But white is also transparent, according to this button here. So I'm going to hit vectorize and then hit return. So it turning gray isn't important. Okay, now if you off click anywhere, you now can click on the individual things. I'm just going to click on one of these and go up to, make sure it's under vector, auto complete. Now, this allows me to go over to embroidery mode and use the different areas. I have column, uniform area, turning area. So these two are what you're going to have to decide on in your design. This one and this one are freehand tools. that allow you to draw paths correlating to whatever you want. These two are more automatic. So using the wheel mouse, I'm going to zoom in, but allow the whole design to be shown. So as far in as possible, but allow the whole thing to be shown. Again, click on it. Embroidery mode. I'm going to use turning area first because these tribal designs are rather turning. You'll see that in a second. So if I hit enter, or click, then hit enter, you'll see that it made this really cool fancy little path that automatically did it for me. If I zoom in using the wheel mouse, you can see that it did this nice little thing. Okay, so I'm going to just highlight each one of these, enter, 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 enter. Anytime I'm selecting, I'm just hitting enter afterwards. I'm going to do that throughout the design. You can do multiple at once, but I would highly not suggest that because it does this weird average thing. Okay, so now here's where I show you the other. First, I'm going to click on it and then hit enter. And you can see it does a really good job. It does all these little turning things, and it even gives it a little mouth if you look at it. Okay, I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that, and I'm going to show you the other one. So in order to do that, I get out of this, go to Uniform Area, choosing Uniform Area Pattern, and you can see that nothing happens, no box pops up. Okay. So because I'm choosing a different type of area fill, I have to go to select this, go back to vector, and choose autocomplete. I can now go into embroidery mode and choose uniform area with pattern, and this box pops up. So if that box doesn't pop up, that's how you fix it. So click on it and hit enter. You can see it just fills it. It doesn't offer any kind of loop. It doesn't give it any kind of mouth whatsoever. But that's the difference between the stitches. This one allows some contrast to show up where this one does not. I'm going to keep it the way it is, but I'm going to change this color. Go to select objects, select it, and I'm going to choose green. And that is how you make a two-color design. You can see that we can make up to, with this machine, we can have 15 different colors. So this color being red is kind of arbitrary. Don't worry about it, the color of it. Just the fact that there is two colors here. We choose the thread color later. All right, now that we have everything assigned to a different color and everything assigned to a different stitch, now I'm going to upgrade the stitches. So make sure, and this is by default sometimes, make sure the stitches are on 5.65. And drop down this custom to a medium density. So for each one of these, I can do that, medium density, or I can go over here hold shift, highlight all of them that are red, go to underlay, choose this zigzag pattern, and the medium density is actually 1, so I could just type a 1 in here. So that's how you do it across all of them at once. And what that did is it allowed a stitch to go in here to hold all the other stitches. It made it more durable. All right, now for prepping it for the machine, we first center the design. Again, we're in embroidery. Center design. You can see 0 was put right into the center of the design. We go to start end, start point, and choose start point at first section. Now we drop that down again, end point at last section. Finally, let's just save this out. Save the document design. I'm going to choose desktop. Call this unicorn maybe, and hit save. Now to prep it for the machine or export it as a design, we go export design. We want DST for the file type. Okay. Again, I'm going to export this file out onto the desktop too. Also, I'm going to take note of the colors, one being, like red in this case, but the first needle, I can kind of look over to the embroidery machine, which is right next to it, and kind of envision a color, and this one envision one of the thread colors. So in one of the videos on how to actually go through the process of selecting the color, just pay close attention to what all the elements are under needle 1 and what all the elements are in needle 2. Not color, elements. All right, cool. If that's confusing, watch the other video on how to choose the color, and everything will be crystal clear. Enjoy.